That's weird. I think that's weird. That is weird. Weird. Hello. What's happening? Hello. What's happening, everybody? I got the microphone and I got the camera and the microphone in odd positions today. Oh, that's gonna focus on the microphone, isn't it? Let's get this down. Focus on me, camera. On me. That's a little better. If it steals the focus again, we'll figure out something else for it. But yeah, buddy, yeah. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream podcast thing that I decided I'd start doing daily. Last sometime right before my birthday, because if you're gonna have a nervous breakdown, right around your birthday is when you do it. I don't know why I always drink the coffee as a punchline. My perfect little dog Max. You want to lay on the couch now? The couch is right there. I can see you, so I can talk to you, and you could be the co-host. I don't know why I chose a camera angle that shows every terrible angle of myself, but that's one of the subjects of today. The catfish. The catfish is one of the subjects. So, have you ever really truly been catfished out in a date, a job, just a misunderstanding between friends for a hangout? Like you can get catfished to hang out sometimes. Like, hey, come over to this party, and you go to the party, and it's just like two other people, and you're like, well, when's the party start? And they're like, well, this is the party. And you're like, motherfuckers. I really, you could have waited 5, 10 more minutes to swear, Johnny. Couldn't do it. But yeah, the catfishing of social events, that's one way to get catfished. Whoever was listening stopped listening, probably because I cussed. That's hilarious. Other ways of being catfished are, of course, when you're dating someone, and this happens a lot on social media, where you take all your best photographs or someone else's photographs entirely, and you post them. And when you meet the person, you don't really look like that. I had a couple. I legitimately had a few situations where the fisherman in this case, hold on. In which case the fisherman. Yeah, it's focusing on the wrong thing. I don't think I'll be able to change what it focuses on exactly right now, especially since it's on autofocus. Duh. It kind of looks like a cool rap video. Why is it going to be a rap video? I don't know why. But what I mean to share with the catfishing stories, man, I'm off to a bad start today. So you can get catfished at a job as well. I got catfished into a job once, or from a job, or by a job. It was for a sales position at a company, and I arrived at the interview spot, interviewed in an office. It looked normal. People seemed to be having normal interactions at the office. Like, hey, champ, great quarterly numbers. Get that TPS report in, would you? That sort of conversation was going on at this office. And they're like, oh, we're a marketing firm. We sell things. I was like, okay, great. I've been a salesman on sales floors for already a long time. So this shouldn't be a problem to sell things directly to the vendors. And then it turns out it was like selling stuff like, well, I mean, like, it would have been a great business, I guess, if you were higher up in the scheme, but like you're become the person that sells the fidget spinners to gas stations. Like imagine if you're the person who had to be the person who walks into the gas station and goes like, hi, we've done some research and these silly little fidget spinning things are going to be flying off the shelves everywhere, but regular places aren't going to want to sell them yet. You're going to want to sell these at next to the lighters and the condoms. You're going to want to put these fidget spinners, and people go, see right there, you're already transfixed by the noise. And you just keep doing it. Fidget spinners, come on, you want to buy them? And someone at a 7-Eleven was like, yes, put it over there. And then they like, hey, all the fidget spinners sell out, motherfucker. Where's the rest of my? I said motherfucker 3 times now. Where's the rest of my fidget spinners? I want my fidget spinners. I want them to spin fidgetly. I'm fidgety for my spinners. And then imagine that guy. You're that guy. That's what I was. Only it wasn't fidget spinners. It was like LED flashlights, the shitty kind, the shittiest kind you've ever seen. The kind that you get free in a gift bag. You know, and I don't mean the good gift bags. I mean like free in a gift bag for like visiting an open house at a apartment complex, that kind of thing. Like you put a 9-volt, it takes 3 9-volt batteries. What takes 3 of anything? It takes 3 9-volt batteries. Who has 3 9-volt batteries? They come in packages of 2 or 6, I guess. 3. That's the kind of salesman I had to be. And that was a job here in California. Okay, now it's focusing on the chair behind me. Autofocus is a bitch. Autofocus is a B. Focus on myself. I have to wear like some sort of dot on my face to let you know I'm the focal point. Actually, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to be able to touch the screen from here and make that happen. But seeing as the camera's across the room, that's kind of not possible. Okay, shut up. Stop complaining. Catfished by a job. So that was being catfished by a job because it was horrible. I don't know what happened to that marketing firm. It might still exist. Those guys might have gone on to actually sell some cool shit, but I doubt any of the people working at the level of go to the gas station, anyone working at the level of go to the gas station, they would have not made a cent. They would have just made whatever agreed upon hourly wage, got lied to them, and they would have just done that. And I don't know anyone else who's been like, yeah, I remember working for that company selling the garbage tchotchkes to the gas stations. I did that. I literally had that job. It's literally what the father from Gremlins did, right? He's like, well, this year I gotta sell a smokeless ashtray to all of these people on the highway. And he goes and sells the smokeless ashtray. There's my focus on my face, finally. On my face. Yeah. I did that for a job, but that was a kind of a catfishy job because there was no security in it. You had to take your own car around. At the time, my car was I think my car was busted, and I had to take a ride along with this other person. Halfway through the day, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this for work right now. I have to run away. I never got that sense of fight or flight sort of thing. It was like, I'm either going to beat up the next store owner I talk to or the next time my coworker opens his smarmy mouth about, oh, you got to hit up this store. Why don't you go to the baby store? Because I don't think the baby store needs our fucking gas station flashlights. That's why I didn't go into that store. And that's why I'm calling a cab to get the fuck out of here. And that's what I had to do because I was quitting in the middle of the day. And I was being driven around by this other person. I had to just go, you know what? Screw this. Hey, man, don't worry about you. Take care. Bye now. And just leave. and I had to get I think I called a cab, or maybe I called the girl I was dating at the time to come pick me up. But that was horrible, horrible. And I never want to, never really, it's like I might experience that again. But it's like I just really don't ever want to do that. It was such a silly time, such a weird, silly time to be in between jobs. When I was out of between jobs, but maybe that's for another time. We're talking about the catfishing situation. So I was so you can be catfished by a job where you go, you do go to the first day of the thing and it's not at all what you thought it was. That's one way. You can be catfished by someone you might go on a date with, where they're using photographs of someone else or photographs of themselves before they were hit by a truck, whatever the situation. And those are two catfishes. There's a third catfish. I've kind of lost my point with the catfishes. There's a third catfish, and I think it has to do with it's like moving someplace and not knowing that like every third week you're gonna want to like wish you didn't live there, like some weird thing, like a weather cycle comes through. I don't know. See, I lost my point. I lost the third catfish variety of catfish that I was thinking of, but that was it. When you buy something you think is gonna be really cool and it's not, that's a catfish. I wonder what people are feeling about the PlayStation and the Xbox new ones. I'm sure someone's got I know if someone has the new PlayStation 5 and is complaining about it, because that's how ungrateful this whole planet is and how just full of it. Someone has that PlayStation is complaining. Meanwhile, I got my Xbox One and I'm like, this is still the height of technology, even though it's now the old one. And the old Xbox One. The old one, Xbox One. I also have, I got a lot of other things that distract me anyway besides video games, so I'm not really worried. I want to get more into this stuff, more of this. I don't know. I mean, vlogging, telecommunication, internet, podcasting, whatever this is, I want to try to get into it more. And so that's why I've been doing the project every day of doing this. Also, maybe I'm actually, documenting a nervous breakdown that's taking a long time. That could be it too. What was there was some things. I had some weird notes, some weird things about how I wanted to do the show today. And I should have written these things down and actually had a format for you. But like I said, I don't edit this, so there's no. What are we doing now? Hey, I took Max the dog to downtown today, into downtown Sacramento, over by maybe it's still called the Lavender District. They got like 20th and 21st and J and those areas. They have like all the streets blocked off for the Midtown Farmers Market, which to date I still have never bought. I have still not purchased a single thing. 5-10 years ago, and never purchased anything from it. I don't know how they stay in business when dopes like me are walking around that weekly. But true enough, I didn't buy anything. I just wanted to socialize the dog. So I brought him in and I sat him down on the corner of the street. There's a lot of people. There are a lot of other dogs. They're just walking around. He wants to pull. He didn't want to bark. He didn't want to run. Some points he wanted to like, hey, I don't want to be anywhere near this. And I usually took these points where it's like, if he seemed really agitated, I just stopped and got down low and had him come to me, because he's a smaller dog, and had him come to me, and he would just sort of like, I'm crouched and he'd just be in between my legs, sort of not like cowering, but just sitting closer to me and then looking out around what he's seeing. Kind of like, it was comforting to him. I think I gave him like a sense of like, hey, I'm down here with you. Don't worry about it. He was shaking really bad at first. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then we went for a bit of a walkie around all these people and all these other dogs, also cool dogs, all these purebred dogs though, which really bummed me out because I'm like, my dog is obviously a mutt. You know what my dog looks like? His name is Max, and he looks like Max from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. That's the dog from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. He looks like the dog from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I'm sure that dog's even more distinctively bred than he is. My guy's got big old fat meaty like basset hound paws and arms and legs, stocky mid body, this derpy, what is it? It's like Chihuahua eyes on a Italian Greyhound nose, all wrapped up with the overbite on his mouth, which is just insanely cute. When I started the podcast, he was sitting right here next to me, and you could actually see his head like pop up every once in a while. And then he just decided the couch was better. I think the couch is better too. I want to sit on it myself. Forgiveness. Forgive me about the autofocus if it messes with your eyes, balls, and you're watching this. Pettiness. So a lot of weird. Okay, this week a lot of cool weird podcasts on. I don't know if you're a fan of podcasts as I am. I'm almost more of a fan of podcasts than I am of television at this point. So in podcast news, Joe Rogan had a pretty stellar week with some huge people on the show, including he had Donald Rawlings on the show. I talked about this already, and then Dave Chappelle came on. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, Dave Chappelle!" He was funny, but it wasn't really like a Dave Chappelle interview. It was just like, "Oh, there he is on this podcast. That's neat." And then the next day, Tom Green was on, and then they got drunk together, and it was just sort of like, "All right, that's the show." Is they got drunk together, and they talked forever about just about everything they already covered. It was kind of a boring interview, but that's fine. You should check out Donnell Rawlings' podcast. It's actually kind of fun and different. I like his co-host. Of course, he's got that cute little dog now. That's all I will say about that. But people hate Joe Rogan, and I get it completely but I think you guys hate somebody and you're just tired of hanging out with that person. That's all it really is. I get it too. I get tired of certain podcasters and I stop listening to them for a couple months and then I come back to them. It's the same with friends. When I used to be more social, you hang out with some people quite a lot, sometimes for years at a time, and then you don't see them quite as much. And you hang out with different groups of people. And if you moved around, you might be more inclined to even do that. And if you stayed put, well, then that's kind of how you stay sane. It's like instead of eating at the same restaurants, you don't eat at the same restaurant every night. You go to different restaurants. So you have different friends for different flavors of, hey, what do I want to do tonight? Sometimes you get lucky and all those friends can hang out together and be all into experiencing those different things. Sometimes they're not into experiencing those things. And you got to have separate friends. And I feel like I have no authority talking about friends when I haven't. I mean, outside of speaking through text messages to maybe Brendan, Darren every once in a while, I haven't spoken to any friends, and it's been a fun thing. It's there really isn't much going on. There really isn't anyone in Sacramento that I ever got that further along with to have them be curious what I'm up to, want to collaborate on anything, or want to just include me in what they're doing. And we're having pizza, we're gonna watch a movie. None of that. It's strange. And what's sad right now, though, it's the thing is I can't even blame other people for this. It's I've been isolated so long. I kind of realized it's my own fault for being an isolating, xenophobic type person. I don't I to a large extent I don't trust anyone else, and I don't know why. But the coronavirus stuff certainly makes me go, I don't trust anyone else, and I probably shouldn't come over your house just because I probably shouldn't come over your house. Let's think about that right now. Why should I come over your house? Oh wait, you guys like this? You like this jacket? Liz got this for me for Christmas last year, and this is I actually just cut the tags off of it today. It's the first time I've worn it. I wanted to be an Adidas daddy. The I was kind of interested in talking about nothing. I got nothing. That's what I want. That was literally the other topic, is that having nothing to talk about when you desperately want to communicate is frustrating. And if you've experienced it, I'd like to know about it, to have a conversation about it. But having a almost social anxiety that's crippling, and yet is utter insane desire to be surrounded by people at all times. That's why I live in a city. When I've lived in a country, in the country too. When I've lived in the country, I was freaked out by the isolation of it. Like, why isn't there anyone else? But then as soon as I moved to the city and I walk down the street, I'm like, why are there 15 cars driving by right now? And I'm frustrated the fact that I live in the city where it's busy, and I'm frustrated by that. Oh my God, I just remembered the catfishing subject. What was it? It was like the bad angle. If you have yourself at a good angle versus a bad angle, it's like a catfish, because when you meet, like, I've gone on, yeah, I'm all over the place. So I've gone on a couple. I remember I went on a couple dates with women who were sort of catfishes, and one or two that outright were. But I also think I've been a fish of the catty type the entire time. And I say that because there's no way that the guy who showed up to the date with you is me. There's zero chance that happened. Zero. I don't dress that way. I don't keep my hair and facial hair and head hair that meticulously kept. I don't smell of fresh linen and peppermint. Like, whatever the hell it is I used to do at the beginning of dating someone. That's not who it is. And I'm sure, I mean, for a lot of, I would say women do that to an extent too. Of course, it's not catfishing. This is just getting comfortable with your significant other. But you get to a point where you don't freak out about the details of your own personal hygiene. It's just getting comfortable. Doesn't mean you become disgusting. It just means, like, yeah, it's okay to have a chipped nail. You know, it's okay to have messy hair or a little bit of stubble. Like, these things are fine. They're human. We're all humans ultimately. And if somebody is judging you on all these weird perfection levels, you shouldn't be talking to them. You should go get the hell. They're toxic. Get away from them. But to the point of the catfish is when you meet somebody, like, I feel like you shouldn't dress up for your dates. I feel like you should either have like an agreement where it's like a date is like, hey, okay, yeah, here's my advice for people going on dates if you're dating still, is discuss ahead of time with the person. Are we going to be dressing really nice or not? Or are we going to dress more casual? Of course, you're on a date, so you're always going to amp up. Even your casual is going to be amped up. But if you talk that out with the person you're going on a date with, then somebody doesn't show up in a gown while you're wearing sneakers. You know what I mean? You have that little discussion. If you discuss it like, hey, we're just gonna go to Pete's Coffee and sit down, and maybe we'll go for a little walk around. That lets the person know, like, hey, she should wear sneakers or sensible boots or something like that. Vice versa for the guy. instead of like wearing the least comfortable thing or the most hard to stroll in thing. I once went on a date with a girl who wore flip-flops to our dinner. And I dated her. I continued to date her anyway because she had other attributes I found attractive. But at the same time, it was like, we're just meeting each other and you're just showing up in flip-flops. Like we're just going to go hang out. We're not going to the beach. We're going out to dinner. You wore flip-flops. I feel like either you're so confident in how good everything else is that you can go like, you know what? I can dress like a child. Or you didn't care. Considering we didn't end up together, I think maybe you didn't care. But not the point. The point is when you dress up for a date, you're putting on airs, you're doing something extra. So, guys will show up looking like James Bond to take you to fucking, a cinema. Oh, I'm low on coffee and I want more. I don't have an assistant. I just have a dog. Dogs don't get you coffee. I'm learning that much. Man. Well, should I do the thing that everyone else does with their shows and just go on Reddit? Just talk about what I see on Reddit, or go on Twitter and talk about what's on. Let's talk about what's on my Twitter feed. All right, we'll talk about Twitter feeds. Which, by the way, my Twitter, if you feel like going to it, is at the Johnny Casino. That's TheJohnnyCasino. That's my Twitter. I don't have followers, so it'd be nice to have some followers. I have like the worst Twitter feed because it's like a couple of local call girls and like the president. Oh yeah, and like Robert Barry. It's just my lit. These are the people I got. Got President Trump. I get President Trump's tweets from 28 minutes ago, and then Robert Barry's response. Oh, did you just quote a quote from yourself? If you knew who Robert Barry is, you'd be laughing because it's a really good impression of him. Oh boy. Oh, I saw my dog. He was fucking his mom. Always jokes like that. All right, we got other comedians who are not popular either. And then there's a couple of celebrities on here. I don't know. Kim Kardashian slammed for insensitive 40th birthday photos in Tahiti. Who cares, right? Who cares? Oh, did you see Kayleigh McEnemy? She's wearing a green dress. When are they going to figure out that if you're on television, do not wear green? When are they going to realize that green is the color of? It's the one color all cameras can pick out and all processing can pick out and go, hey, let's replace that with whatever we want. So there's a whole bunch of her pictures of her like wearing different wearing outfits that aren't the outfit she's wearing. She's wearing a green outfit, so they just green screened over it. Wow, this felt like it was going to be way more successful when I was looking through it. Oh, did you watch The Mandalorian last night? It was a good Mandalorian. It was a good Mandalorian episode. Carl Weathers actually directed it. He's the guy who, Carl Weathers is Apollo Creed from the Rocky movies, and in this show, in The Mandalorian, he plays that guy who's the marshal, whatever his name is. The guy in charge of that town that the Mandalorian visits I'll just say it. He's a black guy. And he's like the mayor of the town. He's kind of like he's making things look good again. He's got that woman the bodybuilder woman who's super tough, who's supposed to be from Alderaan. She's hanging out. This is my explanation of the Mandalorian. Spoilers, and they're hanging out, and then Mandalorian he comes down and visits. And he's like, "Hey guys, you got a good shop over here? You maybe fix some of these dents." And they fix him up, and then they go to some place, and they get in some trouble, and then they leave. He leaves. He goes home. That's the end of it. That's the end of the episode. But no, it was a really good episode. A lot of great special effects. A lot of great sequences. It felt like it was the whatever 45-minute episode, and it felt like he somehow managed to give me the events of an entire saga. And it felt like that. I was like, once it was wrapping up and I could tell like the episode was ending, like, mind you, I'm suspending all disbelief, not looking at my when I'm into this show, I'm not watching my clock, I'm not watching my watches. Last night was a little ruined. So for some reason, Liz was not into sitting still and watching TV. I get it. Sometimes you don't want to, even if it's the show. And I'm of course glued to the TV because I waited all day to watch it. Because she didn't get home till she doesn't get home till late. So I have the YMH virtual live, which is totally disgusting and funny. And I don't know is it worth the $10.93? I don't know. Maybe guys, Tom, Christina, maybe $5 next time. That seemed like it wasn't really worth $10 to me at all. So I don't know what you're giving me for $10. But that was just a YMH episode where I got to see disgusting things versus the blur. I like it when you blur them out and have to describe what's happening in a PG manner. I think that's funny. I think that's funnier than seeing someone actually do the gross things that you guys are making fun of. I don't search those things on subreddit. I don't have subreddits open for those sorts of things because I don't want to see those things in my personal life. So I just paid $10.93. I don't know why I'm going to rant on the very successful, funny comedians, and I'm talking shit about them. I paid for the damn thing. I own T-shirts with their bullshit on it. I listen to their shows. I'm just complaining for no reason. What was the point of the conversation? So distracted. But I watched their show, waiting for Liz to get home so I can watch The Mandalorian. And then we watched The Mandalorian, sort of. She was busy. She kept getting up to start playing on the computer, doing this and doing that. So we'd stop, we'd start, we'd stop, we'd start. So the episode was all sort of jumbled up and discombobulated. Usually the lights are low, we're glued in, we're really paying attention. And even with all these distractions, all these things that make it less optimal for me to enjoy watching science fiction, I enjoyed the hell out of the episode. I actually needed the pause breaks that I was being forced to take because it's like, what? Go ahead, do your things, honey. And then I'm thinking in my head, like, what did I just see? Did those guys just jump? Did that just? Is that actor? What is it? It was all these little Easter eggs that I got to pause and think about, which I normally wouldn't do if I was just watching it. So that was kind of fun for me. It was good enough. I've been going on for 33 minutes. I usually end the show by now. Well, I guess I can end it there. Let me just see what this note was. I thought it was so important that I left it on. Yeah, all right, it's just a thought. You ever see someone stand on a soapbox over something and you realize they don't know what they're soapboxing for? Well, because you understand they are trying to defend what they think is undefendable or undefended. Excuse me, I can say that again. But because you understand that they are trying to defend what they think is undefended, you don't say anything. So you let someone go ahead, say your piece, freedom of speech sort of thing. even though they're on the wrong side of whatever it is, and it's that ACLU sort of argumenting for the Nazis sort of thing back in the old days, saying we have a country of freedom of speech, so everyone should have freedom of speech. I get that. I don't know why I'm writing this to myself. The most final and bullshit argument that has taken over circle. This is a different thought, by the way. The most final and bullshit argument that has taken over many circles is my opinion isn't wrong. I have a weird way of fucking writing shit. Like I sound like I'm trying to write like a non-offensive guide to living or working in a working environment. Like I'm writing HR material. The most final and bullshit argument that has taken over many circles is all right. You know, when you're having an argument or disagreement with somebody, and we've been doing that a lot this year, and their comeback is, "Well, my opinion isn't wrong." What kind of shoot yourself? That's the dumbest thing you've ever said. Opinions aren't empirical. Opinions aren't empirical. Yes, your opinion isn't wrong, but there's facts behind a lot of the stuff you're babbling about. Some of it is really important to have correct. Focus on me. Focus on me. This camera's silly. All right. You don't have to listen if you don't want. I'm just working on stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So much happening. Do do do. Do do do. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do do.
Serious pneumonia outbreak.
Oh no, it's a pneumonia outbreak. Oh no. What's this?
In 2077, what makes someone a criminal? Get caught.
Sorry, folks. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be just fine. Yes. Just fine. Everything's just fine.
Doesn't get any bigger. We give you a bigger.
All right. I'm just going to end it. Bye, guys.